Mom, hurry up. Ella's small voice echoed across the icy driveway, her mittened hands clutching her mother's coat. I'm coming, sweetie. Clara Bennett shouted back, juggling her tote bag and an overstuffed backpack while shoving a scarf around her neck. Her car had broken down 30 minutes ago, the tow truck delayed, and now she was running late for a blind date that she had agreed to only because her sister insisted. She wiped a smear of snow from her cheek and sprinted toward the lodge entrance, Ella tugging impatiently at her hand. The door to Silver Pines Lodge swung open, revealing a man already standing inside, surveying the festive scene with that unmistakable aura of calm confidence that only a CEO, or someone used to command, could carry. Nathan Brooks. He looked up as the door opened, and his gaze fell on the flustered pair, his eyebrows rising in surprise. Hi, he said smoothly, stepping aside to let them in. You must be Clara, and this is Ella? Clara swallowed nervously, trying to compose herself. Yes, that's us. I'm so sorry I'm late. My car. She stopped mid-sentence, realizing it sounded like an excuse, not a reason. Nathan gave a small, understanding smile. Snow happens. You're here now. That's what matters. He glanced at Ella. And you are Ella? Ella nodded, eyes wide and curious, then pointed at him. You like Christmas? Nathan crouched slightly to meet her gaze. I do, especially with snow and cocoa. You. I love it, she exclaimed. Clara's lips twitched into a smile despite her frazzled state. Nathan gestured to a small table near the fireplace. Come on in. Warm up a little. We can figure everything else out from there. As they settled into the cozy corner, Nathan watched Clara smooth down the hem of her coat and tug at her scarf, the exhaustion in her movements softened by the gentle amusement in her eyes. He couldn't explain why, but there was something magnetic about her presence. Something honest and unpolished, unlike the calculated perfection he often encountered in his world of business meetings and high society events. So, Nathan said, trying to ease the tension, what's your secret? How do you make it through a snowy evening like this with a 7-year-old in tow? Clara chuckled, a little breathless. Pure stubbornness and hope, she said. Ella refuses to miss Christmas activities for anything, even a broken car. Nathan smiled, impressed. I can respect that. He paused, then added with a hint of humor. I might have to take notes for future emergencies. Ella leaned over, conspiratorial. Do you like Christmas songs, mister? Nathan grinned. I do. And I bet I can sing a few too, if you want to test me. Ella gasped in delight. Really? Can you sing Jingle Bells? Absolutely, Nathan said, letting his voice carry gently across the cozy room. But only if you join in. Clara laughed softly, shaking her head. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Trouble? Nathan raised an eyebrow, his grin widening. With whom? You or her? Clara shook her head, smiling despite herself. Both, probably. The three of them leaned toward each other, and soon laughter filled their corner of the lodge. The initial awkwardness melted into warmth. Nathan found himself watching Clara closely, the way she spoke about her work as a school librarian, the pride in her voice when she described Ella's achievements, the subtle grace in how she navigated the chaos of parenting. So, Nathan said after a pause, sipping his coffee, what's the best part of being a mom? Clara tilted her head, thoughtful, seeing the world through someone else's eyes, seeing the joy in the small things, snowflakes, lights, cocoa. It reminds me why moments like tonight matter. Nathan nodded, feeling a strange flutter in his chest. I think I've forgotten how to notice those moments. He looked out at the softly falling snow beyond the lodge windows. I spend so much time chasing results, checking boxes. I forget that the small things are the ones that make life worth living. Ella tugged at his sleeve. You're smiling. That's good. Nathan crouched down to her level. It is good. Very good. Thanks for reminding me. Clara watched the interaction, her chest warming despite the chill from the snow outside. Nathan's attentiveness wasn't forced or fake, it was genuine. And there was something incredibly appealing about it. The type of appeal that wasn't about status, money, or perfect appearances. Something real. So, Nathan said, finally turning to Clara. Do you always show up late and steal the hearts of strangers? Or is this a Christmas Eve special? Clara laughed, covering her mouth with her hand. You're bold, Nathan. Or maybe naive. Maybe a little of both, he admitted, his eyes twinkling. But I like it. They were interrupted briefly as a waiter approached with hot chocolate for Ella and cider for Clara. Nathan helped set the mugs in front of them, his attention never leaving Clara's face. She caught herself smiling, a small, genuine smile that hadn't come easily in months. Ella took a careful sip of her cocoa, then declared, "This is the best night ever." Nathan chuckled, ruffling her hair gently. "I'll hold you to that, kiddo." Clara shook her head again, a laugh escaping her despite her earlier stress. "You're unexpectedly charming." Nathan's smile softened. "I'll take that as a compliment." The lodge lights twinkled above, snowflakes drifting lazily outside. Nathan felt the tension of the past 45 minutes. The worry, the anxiety, the uncertainty melt away, replaced with a surprising warmth. "You're patient," Clara said quietly, almost shyly. "With Ella. And with me." Nathan's throat tightened slightly. "I've waited longer than this for things that mattered. It's not hard when it feels right." Clara's eyes met his, searching for meaning, honesty, any hint that he wasn't saying the words casually. And she saw it. Something in his gaze told her he meant every word. Ella, sensing the unspoken tension, tugged at Clara's sleeve. "Mom, can we see the Christmas tree?" Nathan smiled warmly. "Absolutely. Let's go." As they walked together toward the towering tree, decked with ornaments and twinkling lights, Clara felt an unfamiliar flutter in her chest. Nathan was commanding yet gentle, familiar yet exciting. And Ella's laughter, mingling with his, created a warmth she hadn't felt in months. Nathan reached down to let Ella take his hand and looked at Clara. "I think tonight's going to be memorable." Clara swallowed, her lips twitching into a smile. "I hope so," she whispered, feeling her heart race in a way she hadn't allowed herself in years. And somewhere in that snowy lodge, surrounded by strangers, a quiet spark ignited, a spark that promised something real, unexpected, and extraordinary. If you're loving how Nathan and Clara's Christmas Eve unfolds, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so you don't miss the magical moments yet to come. The three of them reached the lodge's grand Christmas tree, its lights twinkling like captured stars. Ella ran ahead, placing her small mittened hands on a low branch to hang an ornament she had brought in her backpack. Nathan crouched beside her, gently guiding her placement. "Careful, don't drop it," he said, his voice soft but playful. "I won't," Ella insisted, though the ornament wobbled dangerously. Nathan caught it just in time, giving her a reassuring smile. Clara watched them, her heart swelling in a way she hadn't expected. Nathan was patient, attentive, not just with her daughter, but with her, too. She felt a strange warmth in the pit of her stomach, one she hadn't allowed herself in years. "Looks like you've got a little helper," Nathan said, glancing at Clara. "She's my boss," Clara replied with a laugh, shaking her head. "She orders me around constantly." "I can see that," Nathan said, smirking. "She seems like a tiny tornado with a very specific mission." Ella giggled, spinning around with the ornament. "I'm not a tornado. I'm magic." Nathan laughed, the sound rich and genuine. "Magic tornado, then." Clara smiled, but there was a tension in her shoulders, a lingering worry that tonight was too perfect to last. You're really good with her," she said quietly, almost as if testing herself. Nathan's gaze softened. "She's easy to be good with. And I like her already." He hesitated, then added, "And I like you too, Clara." Clara blinked, caught off guard. You just met me." Nathan shrugged, though the playful tone didn't mask the sincerity in his eyes. "Some things don't need time. Some feelings are immediate." Ella tilted her head, squinting at them both. "Are you gonna kiss her?" Nathan and Clara froze, then burst into laughter. Nathan crouched and whispered conspiratorially to Ella, "Maybe later, with permission from both parties." Ella beamed. "Okay, I approve." Clara shook her head, laughing but also feeling a flutter in her chest. She hadn't expected her blind date to be this direct, this real. And yet, something about Nathan's confidence mixed with vulnerability drew her in. "Mom," Ella said, tugging at her sleeve. "Can we go get Coco now?" "Of course, honey," Clara said. She glanced at Nathan. "You coming?" "I wouldn't miss it," he said. They made their way back to the fireplace area, where the lodge staff were serving hot chocolate topped with whipped cream and sprinkles. Nathan handed Ella her cup and ruffled her hair affectionately, making her giggle. Clara accepted her cider, settling in beside him. "You know," Nathan began, leaning slightly toward her. "This has been one of the best Christmas Eves I've had in years." Clara's heart skipped. "Really?" she asked softly. "Really?" he said, his eyes locking on hers. "I've spent countless holidays alone, worrying about deadlines, meetings, results. But tonight, I'm noticing something important." He gestured at Ella. "Life, joy, real connections." Clara felt a lump in her throat. She hadn't expected this. She hadn't expected to meet someone like him, someone who could see past her exhaustion, her single-parent struggles, the messiness of real life, and just care. "I'm glad," she said softly. Well, it's been nice. More than nice." Nathan's smile deepened, and for a moment, the bustling lodge, the music, the other couples, all faded into the background. There was just him, her, and Ella, and the warmth of a connection neither had anticipated. A sudden crash made them both jump. Ella had knocked over a small plate of cookies while reaching for a candy cane. Nathan bent down instinctively, picking up the plate and setting it back on the table. "It's okay," Clara said, laughing despite herself. "She's lively." "Lively is good," Nathan said, brushing crumbs from his coat. "Keeps life interesting." Ella clapped her hands. "See? I told you I'm magic." Nathan laughed, shaking his head. "Magic indeed. You've got a powerful spell going on here." Clara shook her head, feeling both amused and unnerved by how easy it was to laugh with him, how effortless the chemistry felt. "I can't believe how natural this is," she admitted. Nathan reached across the table, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "That's because it's real," he said softly. "No pretense. No games. Just us." Clara's chest tightened. She had spent years guarding her heart, protecting herself from disappointment, from men who couldn't see past her struggles, from the fear of being vulnerable. But Nathan, he made vulnerability feel safe. Exciting, even. Ella tugged at her sleeve again. "Mom, dance with us." Nathan raised an eyebrow. "Dance with us? Now?" "Yes," Ella insisted. Clara laughed, standing and taking her daughter's hand. Nathan followed, guiding them to a small open space near the lodge's fireplace. A soft Christmas song played, and the three of them swayed awkwardly, laughter and music intertwining. Nathan spun Clara gently, and for a moment, the world outside the lodge ceased to exist. "You're a better dancer than I expected," Clara said breathlessly, her cheeks warm from laughter. Nathan grinned. "I have my moments, especially when motivated." He glanced at her, his eyes lingering. Clara felt her heartbeat accelerate. This was no ordinary blind date. This was unexpected, and it was overwhelming in the best possible way. As the song ended, they sank onto the couch near the fireplace, catching their breath. Nathan poured himself more coffee, glancing at Clara. "You know, I wasn't sure what to expect tonight." Clara tilted her head. "Neither was I. I almost didn't come." Nathan leaned back, eyes soft. "I'm glad you did." Clara felt a warmth she hadn't known she needed. "Me too," she whispered. Ella yawned, leaning against her mother. "I think I'm ready for bed now." Nathan chuckled. "I'd say that counts as a successful night then." Clara smiled, watching her daughter curl up, and glanced at Nathan. "Thank you for being you. Patient, kind, and not like anyone else." Nathan reached out, gently taking her hand. "I'm not perfect, but tonight, I want to be here. For you. For her. For this." Clara's chest tightened. For the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to hope. Hope that someone could see her daughter, and want to be part of their lives. Hope that love wasn't just a fairy tale, that it could start here, on a snowy Christmas Eve, with laughter, cocoa, and a little chaos. And as they sat together, the fire crackling, Ella asleep, the snow continuing to fall outside, something unspoken passed between them. A promise, a spark, a beginning. The next hour passed in a haze of laughter, cocoa, and shared stories. Nathan learned about Clara's life as a school librarian, the little joy she found in her students, and the challenges she faced as a single mother. Clara listened to Nathan talk about his career, his long hours, and the loneliness that came with success. But she noticed how his eyes softened when he looked at Ella, how his smiles were genuine, unforced. As the lodge prepared for the evening's final festivities, a choir began singing classic Christmas carols. Ella's eyes lit up. "Mom, can we sing?" Clara laughed, taking her daughter's hand. "Of course we can." Nathan joined in, his deep voice blending unexpectedly well with theirs. They swayed gently, the warmth from the fire and the closeness between them creating a cocoon against the cold night outside. After the singing ended, Nathan and Clara walked toward the lodge entrance to say goodbye, Ella holding her mother's hand and Nathan's lightly brushing the edge of hers. The snow had stopped falling, leaving the world outside glittering under the moonlight. "Thank you," Clara said softly, stopping and turning to him. "For tonight. For everything. I didn't know it could be like this." Nathan smiled, stepping closer, lowering his voice. "Neither did I. But here we are. And I don't want this night to end." Clara's heart pounded. "Nathan." He hesitated for only a moment before reaching for her hand, squeezing it gently. "Clara, I know this is fast. I know we just met, but I feel something real here. Something I haven't felt in years. And I want to see where it goes, with you and Ella." Clara's eyes glistened. "I want that too. I do. But I'm scared. I've been cautious for a long time." Nathan stepped closer, his expression tender. "I understand. I'm not here to rush you. I just want to be part of your lives. To be honest, patient, and, if you let me, someone you can count on." Ella tugged at her mother's sleeve. "Mom, can we go play in the snow a little before bedtime?" Clara glanced at Nathan, who grinned. "Absolutely. Lead the way, little one." They stepped outside, the fresh snow crunching beneath their boots. Nathan scooped up Ella, spinning her around as she squealed with delight. Clara laughed, her chest warm, her mind swirling with the night's emotions. Nathan was patient, strong, funny, and kind. He didn't just charm them, he respected them. And that was more than she could have hoped for. After a few minutes of snowball fights and laughter, Nathan set Ella down and looked at Clara. "I think this night has been magical. Not because of the snow or the lodge, but because of you too." Clara felt tears prick her eyes. "You've made me feel alive. Like it's okay to hope again." Nathan gently brushed a snowflake from her hair. "It's more than okay. It's everything." He paused, then whispered, "And I want to prove that to you every day." Clara's heart raced, a mixture of anticipation and fear. But the sincerity in his eyes, the warmth of his hand around hers, and the joy in Ella's laughter made her realize she was ready to take the leap. Over the next year, Nathan became a steady presence in their lives. He attended school events, helped with homework, and spent countless evenings at their small apartment, sharing meals and laughter. He wasn't just a visitor in their world, he became part of it. And Clara found herself trusting him more than anyone else in years, her love growing alongside Ella's fondness for him. One snowy anniversary of their first meeting, Nathan arranged a quiet evening at Silver Pines Lodge. The same fire crackled, the lights twinkled, and the lodge seemed to hold its breath in anticipation. Clara stepped inside, dressed simply but elegantly, and saw Nathan waiting near the fireplace, Ella by his side, holding a small box. Mom, he's going to do it," Ella whispered excitedly. Nathan smiled at Clara, taking her hands. "Clara, this past year has been the most incredible time of my life. You and Ella have shown me what love really means, what family really means, and how joy can come from the simplest moments. I don't want to spend another day without telling you, without showing you, how much you mean to me." Clara felt her chest tighten, tears brimming. "Nathan," he knelt on one knee, opening the box to reveal a delicate ring. "Clara Bennett, will you marry me? Will you let me be part of your lives, always? And will you let me love you both for the rest of my life?" Ella squealed, clapping her hands. "Yes, yes. Say yes, Mom." Clara knelt beside Nathan, tears streaming down her face, her heart full. "Yes, yes, Nathan. I can't imagine life without you." Nathan slipped the ring onto her finger, standing to embrace her, and Ella ran into their arms. They laughed, hugged, and held each other close, the firelight dancing across their faces, the snow falling softly outside, and the magic of Christmas enveloping them completely. Their wedding, months later, was a beautiful blend of elegance and warmth. Family, friends, and colleagues joined them in celebrating a love that had grown from patience, understanding, and genuine connection. Clara's friends marveled at how Nathan treated her and Ella, not as a replacement for anything, but as partners in life, equal and supportive. Nathan's colleagues were touched by his willingness to embrace a simpler, more authentic world alongside the people he loved. Throughout it all, Nathan never stopped showing his devotion. He played with Ella, helped with school projects, and never allowed Clara to feel anything less than cherished. And Clara, in turn, learned to let herself trust, to love without fear, and to embrace joy in the unexpected. And on every Christmas Eve after, they returned to Silver Pines Lodge, not because they had to, but because it was where their love story had truly begun, where a frazzled single mother and her spirited daughter met a patient, kind-hearted CEO, and where laughter, hope, and magic had turned a snowy night into a lifetime of love. As they stood together, Nathan holding Clara's hand and Ella's free hand in his other, he whispered, "The best things in life always come when you least expect them." Clara leaned her head against his shoulder, feeling the truth of his words. And sometimes, they come on snowy Christmas Eves. If this heartwarming story made your heart flutter, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more magical, emotional stories that prove love always finds a way, even in the most unexpected places.